Eh? What? I haven't got a clue. Not got a clue. You wouldn't have a clue, mate. I just heard some shouting. I've shouted all in down the other end. Who's doing it down here? I'll make it 2 minutes as well, but I'm on the phone to my mate and I've shouted in down there. Hi and welcome back to the channel, and this live match is the Black Country Team Champs 2022. It's teams of 4 and the match is split around in and around Dudley, and I've drawn peg 178, which is the Vent Axia section. I'm only going off the postcode sheet for this one because I don't know the area. I've never seen this bit of canal before. Now, I've drawn next to a bridge and I've had a few responses about the peg. Some saying, yeah, it's okay. Others saying it's really poor. I won't use the words that the guestie used when he told me about it because I'm a bit expletive. But by all accounts, it's not the best area. Now, through the bridge, which they are pegged on the opposite side of the bank, they reckon there's bream there. So I shouldn't beat any of the pegs to my right. I know Lloydie won off the peg immediately to my right through the bridge last year in one of the qualifier matches. So I've just got to try and finish as high up the section as I can. It's 17 peg sections, so we'll see how it goes. There's 35 teams of 4, so it's a brilliant turnout of anglers again. He always seems to be able to get good turnouts on his big matches, Lee does. Lee and Mickey Owl, that is. Fair play, well done, lads. Without blokes like you, these things wouldn't happen, obviously. It's great that that can bring us all together. So anyway, I've been told there's not any chance of any tench down here. There may be the odd skimmer about, but it's mostly going to be roach and perch fishing. So I'm feeding some bread at top 5 to my right in the deepest water. I'm going to feed worm in front of me in the deepest water. And I've got sedge beds either side of me. So I'm going to feed one of them to start with worms and casters. And then if that works, I'm going to feed the other side. You know, just try and nick the odd perch here and there. And then over, I'm going to my right, I'm not doing anything to start with. I just want to see what's happening with the peg first. I'm going to feed ground bait at 11 metres out over. It's not the deepest area. It shelves up quite quickly over, but it's not a clear canal, so hopefully we'll catch a few roach and perch over there. And I'm also putting some hemp quite long over towards the cover. Fed all my lines and I'm going on the bread to start with down the track, and I have a fish pretty much immediately. A nice little dumpy roach. I'm thinking happy days. But then the flow picked up. It felt like a lock had opened, which is normal, no problem. But it carried on running for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I was thinking, how can it be running so long if a lock's opened? You'd think it'd be draining somewhere. The water level did go down by a couple of inches, and it made this line really hard to fish, to be fair, because there's a lot of debris down the middle. I shallowed up a few times and I just kept snagging up on something. So I felt my best option was to go over and get on the squat. squat and pinky line. It caught me out a bit, to be fair. I never expected it to run like this. And my rigs were perhaps a little bit too light for down the track. Well, this rig was anyway. I was using a 0.35 and I couldn't really control it. Plus, it kept dragging. Every time I let it run, it'd catch on something and just pull the float under. So I'm trying to alter the depth, try and shallow up, pull all the shot down just above the hook length to try and get the rig down quicker. All to no avail, really. I never really managed to get this going. So that one quick fish ends up being the only fish. After trying my hardest to make this track line work, I give it neck. Yeah, I've had enough of that. Get yourself on the squat and pinky and see if I can run a bait through there and catch some roach and perch over. I had another issue as well. The day previous to this match, I took my glasses into the opticians as I got some scratches on the one of the lenses, and I was pretty sure that they were supposed to be anti-scratch lenses. So I went back to the opticians with them, and they said, yes, no problem, we'll get the lenses changed. Happy days. And the trouble was, I'd got to wear my old glasses, which is what I've got on here, and their old prescription. So I'm really struggling to see what I'm doing, especially trying to put a squat or a pinky on the hook. I couldn't see nothing, but it is what it is. I'll make do the best I can. So I've set a 0.3 rig up for down the shelf, which isn't that much deeper than the far line, to be fair, and it wasn't very deep on this line either. But while it's pulling, I feel confident I'm going to catch some fish over the ground bait. And to be fair, now I'm on the ground bait, I'd like it to stay flowing. If the fish have got to swim, they've got to feed. Simple as that. And I felt confident that if it carried on flowing, we'd catch some fish, albeit small fish, but putting fish in the net, I don't mind doing that. So I'm fishing a fluoro pinky at the minute, and it's really hard to try and get a pinky on the hook because I just can't see what I'm doing, basically. Getting old now, my eyes are getting old as well, starting to wear away. It's not fun getting old. Now, although there were some bites to be caught early on while it was flowing, it wasn't easy still. It was still quite difficult. But look, a nice stamp fish, that one. Be happy if I could keep them coming. I've got this rig shot up like a strung bulk, quite a tightish strung bulk because it's quite shallow water and the flow is quite hard, to be fair. So having my shot quite close together means I can control the rig a bit better. I fed 2 balls on this line of Sonia Bates Black Roach with a bit of river in it. And I put 1 ball past it. Look, I'm going to try my sunglasses now. My sunglasses are prescription glasses as well. And these are the newer prescription than those glasses I just had on. That's a bit better. I can see what I'm doing a bit better now. Well, like I say, early doors, it was all right. There was a few fish to be caught. Nice and steady away. All on the 11 metre line. Nice and comfortable fishing as well. So the flow's stopped now, and the bites have slowed down on the squat and pinky. So I'm going to go and have another quick look down the track to see if it's any better now. I can control that rig a bit easier. See if there's any fish hanging about there. I've got a feeling now it's stopped flowing that it's going to be one of those matches where you pick a few fish here and there. You're not going to be able to get any big runs of fish anywhere. So I've gone back in on the bread line and I've had a fish straight away. Again, not a bad stamp. We're probably about 40 minutes in now, 40 minutes to an hour in now. And I've noticed a few of the pegs to my left are netting fish. I don't know what they are. They're a bit too far away for me to see. But I'm guessing them perch on the squat lines. Just that one fish on the bread there. So try something else again now. Back on the pinky. See if I can pinch a few fish off here again before I've got to go and do something else. There we go, there's a nice little roach. You catch 2 or 3 fish off a line and then you've got to move again. I found it best to put the rig all over the place, to be fair. I'm feeding squats via the catapult, obviously, and I'm searching all over the peg with my rig to try and attract a bite. Now, to my right, I've decided it's the same depth on my right hand side as it is to my left. So I thought I'll put some ground bait there and hopefully I'll be able to nick a few fish over that side as well. It's clear it's not going to pull much this canal again now. There's no boats in motion anywhere. So I'm just going to put ground bait on this line with some squats in. I'm not going to feed over the top of it. I'm just going to see if anything will sit over it with no bait going in. And hopefully I can use this as a rest line then for when I've had a couple of fish off my left hand line. I can drop it onto this line and try and nick a couple of fish there whilst giving the left hand line a rest. Still struggling to put a pinky on, look. And the biggest problem is it's going to be 10 to 14 days before I get my glasses back. So my eyes are going to be struggling for the next few matches. Throwing a few casters down the middle there and a few to the rushes to my right. There's one of those perch that the others have been netting. I'll say man up and swing on myself. I can't see what's going on the other side of the bridge. I can only see what's going on to my left, and I'm not doing too bad in comparison to the anglers around me. So as long as I can keep putting some fish in the net, I'll be happy. Picking the odd fish off here and there. And another one. Some of the rods were quite small, but still putting fish in the net. The perch were always the better stamp fish, but there just didn't seem to be that many of them about, or I hadn't got it quite right how to catch them. So I'm going to give that line a rest now to my left and have a look, see if I can catch anything to the right hand side, see if there's anything moved out of my ground bait. No bites on that side. Go back over to my left hand side. Prepare some worm here for the track. Got a bit of water in that worm there, in that chopped worm, so I'm not feeding a lot of worm really, but it's putting a nice cloud in the water as it goes in. No bites on that side either. Need another plant. So we'll go and have a look down the middle, see if I can catch some perch on the worm. Using my favourite track float, 1/2 gram power, size 16, natural N30, little segment of worm on. And there we go, little tiny perch. I don't mind having to move around as long as I can put some fish in the net while I'm doing so. It's one of those matches where you've got to work your peg today. Keep those squats going in over and hemp obviously over towards the trees. So you never know. Just because you're not catching them on the squat and pinky doesn't mean you won't catch them on the hemp. It's just one of those things. You've got to keep trying. Trying to work the rig there to try and get a bite. Jigging it about. And that attracted a fish straight away, that did look. I annoyed a fish into having it. And I wouldn't normally swing fish this size, but I've realised how difficult it's been. So just to make sure I put the net under him. It's about 4 ounces, 4 ounce perch. You see how that jigging worked to get that bite then? We'll give that another go. A little bit of a jig. Preparing a bit more feed here. This time I'm going to feed down to the rushes to my right. I've not long had a phone call off Adam Firth, who's the other side of the bridge, second peg up, saying that the chap in between us, so the bloke immediate to my right through the bridge, must have double figures. I'm like, what? How's he caught that? And he's had bream tight over, but he reckons he's got 3.5 foot over. It's only just over 3.5 foot down the track here. So I'm going to feed these rushes down there again and have another look, see if I can catch me something there. I need another line to start working for me. Although I'm getting the odd bite down the track, it's not brilliant. It's just odd fish here and there, and I'm having to really work that bait to get it to have a go, to try and aggravate a fish into having it. So if I can get another worm line going, who knows? Little jig again, look. I'm just keep working that bait, just trying to make something happen. They're definitely a sight fish, perch. They'll if there's any there, they'll nab at that. There you go, there's one. It's only a tiny thing again, but it's a bite. And you know what I say about perch? They weigh a lot more than any of the other fish around the same size. So a roach around the same length as that would nowhere near be the same kind of weight. I'm never disappointed catching perch. And we're going to have a look down these rushes now where I've fed. A couple of times I've fed there now. I've been throwing casters over the top all the time, but I've just put 2 lots of feed with worm in throughout the match. So if there's anything going to be there, I should have it pretty quick. Just dragging it into the side of those rushes. Keep working the float, making that worm move. I don't get a bite there, which was very disappointing. Felt sure I'd catch a fish there, but never had a single indication. So back over on the pinky again now. It's had a bit of a rest while I tried other things, and there's the odd fish there to be caught again. It's not brilliant by any means though. Look what I've done here. Clown. Went to switch lines and put it straight up the tree. Could have stayed in my rig. Right, bird's nest. I have a quick look to see if I can get it out, and it's like, nah, forget that. So I'm getting my rig from up the shelf, and then I'm going to set the depth a little bit deeper on that and use that. And eventually I catch a fish on this line, little perch. Just hoping this line will produce enough fish for me to swap between the two lines. That's it, now fish there. Remember to ship back a bit before I moved across, so I didn't wreck another rig. And I can't get a bite on the 11 metre line, so I'm going to drop a little bit further. After I've put a bit of grease on my float, that is. Sitting a little low in the water, I'm really struggling to see it. Doesn't help when my eyes ain't right either. There you go, there's a fish. I'm just trying to put the rig in the areas where my bait's getting to. Some of the areas haven't got no ground bait there, but the fish are sitting in amongst those squats that are going through the water. I don't care if it's roach or perch that I'm catching, as long as I'm catching something at the minute. I'm still on the pinky at the moment. Fluoro pinky. I've tried red pinky, I can't get a bite on that. It's not brilliant fishing. I want to pick the rig up and move it a bit, drop it in somewhere else. When I don't get a bite, I'm going over to the other line, see if I can get a bite over there. It's really slow at the moment. It's just nicking odd fish here and there. It's another little perch. Having to be active, keep moving about. Nothing on that line again. Back over to the 11 metre to my left. Nothing on the 11 metre line. Drop a section on. Drag the rig around a bit. Drop it back in. And eventually we get a bite. Albeit very small. Little tiny roach. I'm not fussy. Tell you what works for me a lot when I'm roach fishing is doing what I've just done there, slapping the rig over. See that? Slap the rig over. So, as soon as it's going through the water, I'm sure a fish, just like when you're carp fishing, you slap a rig, it attracts the attention of a fish, and it's just attracted the attention of that roach. As soon as I slapped it over, if there's one there, he'll have it. It doesn't always work, but it can get you extra bites. Slap a rig over again. So it doesn't always work. I'm just shipping a bit further out there, slapping it again. Nothing on that slap, so we'll slap it again. Bring it back, slap it over. I'm just slapping it over in the area of where the feed's going, all over it, not in the same place, just around it. Just trying to find some fish that are hanging off the feed, if they are. If there's any there, I should say. Missed a bite there. And again, some of these fish are tiny. You see, I slapped the rig over twice then and got an indication straight away. And again, can be frustrating at times. And there's one, look. This one ain't too bad either. Back to a little tiny roach again. But like I say, there's fish going in the net. Now, I've not had a bite to my right on the bulrushy, so I've put some feed into the left and I've tried there, and I can't get a bite that side either. It's turned into a very frustrating day. Struggling to get indications anywhere now. Give it another feed down the track. Leave that to settle and go back over on the pinky. After a bit of a rest, see if I can get any bites over there again. There's one. Another good stamp fish again, look. See, there's fish in the peg. It's just trying to work out how to catch them. You're not always going to catch them though. It's just can be frustrating. I mean, the canal's very still at the moment. They don't really want to eat. You got to hope you put it in front of a fish and he'll go for it. Another fish, perch again. This is probably my best spell on the squat at the minute. Well, on the pinky, I should say. Catching mainly roach with the odd perch. Slap the rig over again. And there you go, there's a bite. Another little perch, this one. I'm sitting there thinking now, just carry on like this, I don't mind. And the pike's just had a go at that one. And he missed it. Thank God. Luckily he missed it. And that upset the rest of the peg, that did. I couldn't get a bite for a bit, so I've gone back down the track. This time I'm on a maggot. And I've caught an half decent perch again. And I only had that one bite there, so back over again. It's gone cloudy now, and I've still got my sunglasses on. It's getting really dark. I can't really see what I'm doing at all. I feel like I'm night fishing. It's the only way I can see my float is by having my sunglasses on. Odd fish here and there, that's all there is now. Just keeping that squat going through the water. Trying to keep fish in the area and then try and aggravate one onto the hook. And every now and then you'll get a bite. Lovely. So I'm going to try putting a bit of loose ground bait over there now. I'm not going to form a ball with it. I'm just going to scoop it into my cup. And see if that makes any difference, because I'm really struggling for bites at the minute. Can't get a bite now, so I'm going to drop that ground bait in and see if that makes any difference. Just going to sprinkle that in from the height and just see what happens. See if it makes any difference. And we're going to go straight back on it. It's gone really dark now. I'm really struggling to see. Plus it's raining. And still I keep putting the odd fish in the net. I'm fishing right down the peg here. So I'm fishing probably about 2 metres away from where my feed's going in. And there seems to be the odd little fish hanging right out the peg. There seems to be the odd fish hanging down the peg, right down the end of the peg again. Nowhere near where my bait's going in. Again, another little tiny fish. Sure, if I'd have sat on the worm or sat on the bread, I don't feel as if I'd have caught anywhere near what I've caught. And it was just a case of just working that squat line, keep putting the bait through the water and keep moving your rig around, keep trying to manipulate the hook bait, like slapping it over and moving it around the peg. That got you the odd bite here and there. There just didn't seem to be any bonus fish here. So just a case of getting your head down and trying to put in the net what you can. And there we go, that's the end of the match. Bit of a frustrating day, but I've ended up with 55 fish. So when the scales arrived, Plopper, who's doing the weighing in there, Adam Firth, he'd had £7. He's caught some skimmers late on. The chap in between us, next to the bridge the other side, had had £10 of bream. So he's absolutely paralysed the section. I've weighed £2, 13 ounces and 12 drams, which was mega to be fair. You'll see the team sheet in a bit. All the pegs to my left, most of them only weighed a pound odd. So my side of the bridge, there was 12 anglers, and there's only 2 of them beat me. Martin Owen, that's standing next to me there, he weighed £3. And then the M peg down towards the next bridge, he's had 313, and he had a big perch in that as well. So I finished 7th out of 17, which I've got to be happy with, to be fair. Managed to keep a few fish coming on a hard day and scored some good points with it. Guessed he did well in his section, but unfortunately the 2 Lloyds didn't do very well in theirs, so we ended up on 33 points, which put us equal 12th out of the 35 teams on the day, so respectable. Just a bit of luck needed and we could have pushed further maybe. We said this last year though. Didn't feel that any of us had any decent pegs or any really good pegs, so we got as much as we could have expected, I suppose. But then I got lumbered with doing the rest of the weighing as well. Well, never mind. Nice day on the bank. So if you enjoyed watching that, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more like this, please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.